So, Najin versus Samsung. Next up, wait, no, that's still that. Wait, this is like, oh, it's game 3. Okay, it's a really long series. And this is SKT GE Tigers. I haven't watched this series yet, so I want to watch this series. SKT versus GE Tigers. Why not? Oh, I need to move this. Here we go. That's reasonable, right? Yeah, why not? Let's watch games together, because games are fun. So, oh, I should, yeah. So I'm done, pretty much streaming for the day. I'm just gonna like watch a game of League, because League is fun, and then go to sleep. All right, let's talk about League of Legends. So this is still 5.3. So Veigar supports the thing. Let's skip a little bit faster through picks and bans. This is a bit slow. All right, I'll just get to like the last couple picks. All right, cool. So first pick Gnar is still a thing in Korea. Gnar really disappeared in North America. Like you can see, Maokai is still up, Kennen's up, Lissandra didn't even get. Oh no, Lissandra got banned. Rumble is still up. Like, and of course, GE can pick whatever they want. Now that Gnar's been picked, they know there's no more contested top laners. So like, Kennen, Mundo, Maokai, all that stuff's theirs whenever they want it. And they go for Mundo. Mundo into Gnar. So, SKT run double AD. Jat talked about this in PTL. Basically, they have a big front line. They have actually decent counter engage, because if you go in into Morg Nunu do bad things to you. They have some magic damage. Ezreal does a little bit. I would say he's about 1/3 magic, because ult does a lot, and it has a really low cooldown because you tend to build CDR on this champion. Marin has a little bit with his W. Like, Bengi has a little bit being Nunu. Morgana has a little bit being Morgana. Lucian has basically none. You could go Static Shiv on Lucian. It's not really that important, though. But overall, it's like, hey, if you engage in these guys, Gnar Fs you up. But their actual catch really just relies on a Dark Binding landing, which can be pretty hard. Meanwhile, GE Tigers, good luck. So here's what's difficult right off the bat. They have Xerath, and this team has no engage. They have Mundo, and this team has no way to kill Mundo. Not well. I mean, I guess AD carries are better than other roles at killing Mundo, but like, Ez and Lucian are two of the worst champions at killing Mundo, because their persistent damage is not very high. But we'll see if Lucian goes IE Shiv. I hope he does, or like IE Phantom Dancer at least. One of those. What else with this comp? So yeah, no way of dealing with Xerath. This is actually a pretty good lane. Corki Veigar, although I think Morg's decent against Veigar. It's counterplayable, I guess, on either side. A lot of people like Lucian into Corki. I guess Lucian's okay here because you can dash all the fossil bombs and Q him back. So that's pretty good. But this and then their mid game's pretty good. Ezreal's going to spike at like 21 minutes. It's not long after Corki's spike. Mundo's got to scale for a little while. Gnar can keep him down for a little bit early on, so Mundo should lose some CS. I don't know if Nunu can keep tabs on Rek'Sai and keep him down. I think it's unlikely. Alright, so GE Tigers, interesting invade. It's actually, they're kind of actually going to sniff out what Morgana's doing here. This is really tricky. So I think, oh, perfect by Morg. Pickaboo puts the trinket down and then pieces out. He knows about this invade path. That's cute. And they've already got tri-warded. Yep, no invades here. Trinket from this side, you clear through. They can just keep going. I should stop using the mouse. Well, no, it's fine to use the mouse. Oh, cool. Hold on, I'm going to move my webcam slightly. That's reasonable. Cool. Early pause. All right, baby. We skipping forward. We skipping forward. How much farther do I have to go? Pretty far. It's like a 5-minute pause. Holy crap. All right. So at the end of the day, Lane swap. YOLO. So, okay, I need to actually see how they got that that push lead. Because that's actually relevant. Okay, so Veigar Corki get to lane first. Gnar TPs as soon as he realizes it's a 2-on-2. As soon as he realizes it's a 2-on-2, you should immediately teleport into the lane. Because you're going to one-on-one lane. Why would you ever show up to a one-on-one lane? Corki, Veigar not trying to push very early. They're actually pushing incredibly slowly. So they could have pushed if they wanted to, and they clearly didn't want to. Bang and Pickaboo do. And the thing is, these minions lost enough health that it's like almost tricky to be under turret, but you could see, I want to show you what happened here. This is actually really slick by GE Tiger. So watch this. So these minions are injured. This caster dies to a turret shot. This melee dies to a turret shot. That melee just died without getting killed. They only missed... Actually, no. He didn't miss any CS because he has 2 CS. But check this out. You can see right here there's a minion line coming in. And so this minion is going to walk this far. And the minion's going to come in like right here. So this minion's going to reach turret. But if they buy like 2 seconds, the casters freeze right here outside of turret range. Because you can see these are just like just off screen. They're like just over to the side. So watch this. They say, okay, I need to auto this twice. Auto. And then he kind of says, okay, it's not going to be in range. Auto. Those casters, I think they stopped for a half second. Let's see, maybe they didn't stop. They're still killing these. Okay. Auto. Auto. No, okay, the melees came in time. Okay, so they froze in front of their turret. This immediately exposes Lucian Morg to gank pressure. They don't have any wards up right now, and Rek'Sai could always go for a chance gank. Nunu isn't that side of the map, but he's leaving now. He has no trinket. Morgana has no trinket. Lucian does not have a trinket until a few seconds from now. But they're betting on Rek'Sai not going 2 camps to gank. If he went 2 camps gank, he could have actually killed one of the SKT members or forced to flash. If they were really tricky about it, they could have. But that didn't happen. So, standard clears for now. Good dodge in the binding. Bam, stun. And Lucian just nopes the hell out. Alright. Faker has missed 2 CS. 14, 15, 17. Yeah, he missed 2 CS. What a bad player. He does a really good job of balancing his Qs and autos, though, to like last hit things. It's pretty impressive. He's a very good Ezreal player. Let's see how the lane is being played right now. They pretty much know that they almost can't guarantee damage onto Bang because he just dashes. He learned dash at level 2. I think they tested it with the E. Like, hey, if you effed up and learned W, we get free damage, but he learned E. Marin just pushing in Smeb. He knows he's fairly safe right now. Here's the thing is, so when you push up super hard and you go like crazy aggro and really assholey, you have 2 things to keep in mind. So 1 is with the enemy jungler, and 2 is with my enemy laner. And Rek'Sai is a pretty good ganker, but she loses a lot of health in the first clear. And so you actually don't have a lot to fear from early Rek'Sai ganks, typically, from what I've seen. But Mundo has really bad gank assistance. He has okay gank assistance, like he has a slow, but his gank assistance is fairly poor. And so Gnar, also knowing that he has innate escapes with Hop, I forget if that's actually what it's called, but it doesn't really matter. I think it's Hop. Basically, there's really no gank. Like, watch this. Like, this gank is very unlikely to succeed. Marin maybe loses flash, but realistically... Oh, they're waiting for him to be Mega Gnar so that he maybe goes in on a Smeb. If he goes on a Smeb, he dies. He loses flash and then still dies. Nuna's on this side of the map, though. Mega Gnar lands his stun. Hops away. Lee misses the knockup. Wow. Still dies. Cleaver spam. And the minion line was already in the already gone, so he couldn't dodge anything. I think he needed to flash earlier. So he jumps. He needs to flash this cleaver. Smeb slashes in to get a, like, look how long he takes Smeb damage. Like, watch this. Okay, so I want to show you this again, because this is ludicrous. Like, Marin honestly misplays this. So, Mega Gnar, so like, okay, let's go. He can actually still double bounce, the funny thing. Like, it's a weird time they chose to go in, but that's when they go in. So there's Chilling Smite. He uses a spell animation during the slow. Stun Smeb. I actually would probably stun Lee instead, because Smeb has tenacity. Really good hop. Gets away from the knockup. That's really slick. And then here he needs... Is that a cleaver? Yep, there's a cleaver right there. He needs to flash the cleaver. Gets hit. And then he like just doesn't flash away from Smeb. And so it's like a free kill at that point. Like, Smeb gets like 2 autos before he flashes out. Alright. People hate the pauses. That's fair. That's pretty reasonable. I should probably stop pausing and just do a better job of staying up to date on things. Gorilla probably could have queued that melee minion to give Corki the last hit, but it's okay. You can see that Faker dodges to the side to get the Q to reach that backline caster minion, because it wasn't going to reach otherwise, so Faker's like already kind of like a step ahead. He could have E'd for the other one, but probably is not worth 90 mana. So 6 CS lead, really good job by the SKT duo lane, although you can see that not much of it really gets denied here. They try again, and they get Pickaboo this time, so he actually takes meaningful damage. But he's got potions, so it's really not a big deal. He does chug it because staying at full health is pretty important. Bang doesn't, but wow, that was such a good bind. Praise gone. Wow, that was really good. They ulted just shove the wave. They asked Ezreal to push. They asked Ezreal to ult so they could just shove and recall. I think it's like right on BF sword timing, especially because of that kill. All right, that's a good gank. Ooh, good hop by Marin. Yeah, that was really slick. And the transform just in time. Wow, that's so fortunate. If he has a house, he can... Nope, missed. I think Smeb would have lived anyway, but... Dang, that was really close. Yeah. So they had Ezreal ult top lane so they could just recall sooner. He had enough money for BF sword. You want to... Basically, anytime you kill your lane opponent, you want to recall immediately. I don't care if all you buy is 3 health potions because you're waiting. Like, you need to recall that wave or next wave. And so, in order to recall sooner, they have Faker ult top lane for them. Because they don't need the extra gold. He's already got BF sword. It's no big deal. They just want to get that wave pushed out as fast as possible. It's pretty slick. As Faker only has tier, so he's actually got a power trough right now. He's recalled, and his opponent has as well. Wow, Kuro flashed early. Easy ult. Easy life. Nunu really good at killing Dragon, as is Gnar. Grats SKT. Dude, this pressure is really good by these guys. They're doing a very good job. And then Marin, he has teleport. But look at this. There's no ward coverage at all for Mundo. You can see that Smeb. There's that pink ward in River. Oh, bang. No, bang. He's trying to kill Gorilla. Wow, that was a good dash. Wow, is he really going to live? Good flash. Oh, good bind. Oh, my God. But Corki's here. But Ezreal's here. But Veigar's here. He flashed. Oh, he missed the Q. No, Faker, no. He's going to lose. He doesn't have any items. He's gonna die. He's going to give up red buff. And they give it to Corki. Oh, Mundo stole it. That was lame. They could have given that to Corki. That was really over-aggressive. They could have had Marin TP, but they didn't have any wards to TP to, I guess. No, they had pink wards. Is he going Ruin King? Marin's going Ruin King because he wants to split against Mundo. Okay, I see it. But Smeb's 3-0 now. GE Tigers are caught all the way back up off that fight. Cleavers it. Yep, that's easy. Okay, so this is just crazy hectic. Like, people just, executing as best they can. Ults, but he forces the flash. Dashes away. Expects the knockup, flashes it. Pickaboo gets a really good bind. And they actually, yeah, they do kill Lee because Faker gets them. But that TP is not met at all by Gnar. And that's a really big mistake. Also, again, Ezreal's Power Trough, he has only a tier. So he didn't have anything to do in that fight. Like, he missed the Q on Veigar, and he was all-in, like, kind of expecting that to happen. But, tough situation. So Pink Ward gets replaced this time by the red team in the bottom lane. They're basically just trying to keep Pink Wards up and saying, look, we don't expect junglers to show up often down here, so Pink Wards are likely to be worth it. And they also guarantee that my jungler can come in. Like, you kind of do really want a Pink Ward battle in common jungle paths. Because if you keep the lane pushed, you're going to be able to defend your Pink Ward against your lane opponent. Aw, he E'd late. Faker sucks. Official. You know, he has enough AD that he one-shots casters off of the turret. He actually has no reason to Q instead of auto-attack because they both give the same amount of mana. And he just last hit a caster minion with just auto-attack damage, so... I mean, it's a waste of like 40 mana, it's not a big deal, but... I mean, it's blue buff tier Ezreal, it's not going to be a big deal. Ults for the harass, interestingly enough. Doesn't really want to do anything more than that. I guess his wave clear's okay because you can spam Q with blue buff. But hey, if you make Kuro waste a potion, that's good news. Let's see, so, yep, BF sword. Now a long sword. Bang really shouldn't go Bloodthirster, though. He really needs Infinity Edge, because otherwise, if he gets behind on the AD carry item curve, which is Eye Edge, Phantom Dancer, Last Whisper, and he has something that replaces one of those items, he can't kill Mundo anymore, especially with Mundo's 3-0. Peekaboo, really nice Black Shield into a chase on the Gorilla. Black Shield gets broken, but who cares? Gets the stun. Just, problem is they have no team. Like, what was the setup for that? So I need to see what happened here because, like, so they're going for deep wards. That's cool. Like, Marin's pushed in against Meb. They can show up at the same time. They see both mid laners. They assume Corki's top. Like, this is actually a fairly safe ward to go for. But that's greedy. That's a little bit greedy. Well, I mean, it should be a 3-on-3, right? But Xerath moves first. Faker's late. That's really bad. Faker's still mid. Faker's still mid. Faker's still mid. Now he moves. Yeah, that's really bad. You can't overstay like that without a push lead in all of your lanes. And actually, wow, Mara didn't even move either. It's not that Smeb did anything. Surely just the three of them, but... Man, they're not respecting the fact that, like... Rek'Sai does damage. Yeah. It was the fact that Xerath came in first and Rek'Sai had a warrior enchant. This is a really good play, though. That's really slick. I'm not really sure why he flashed. He was not gonna get away. He was not gonna get away from the Morg stun for sure. Oh, whatever. Okay, so Xerath has the push lead over Faker. I don't really think Ezreal can ever get that back. Ezreal gets the push lead when he ults, and that's it. So until that happens, which is every 2 to 3 waves. Let's say every 3 waves to be safe, but it could be as quick as every 2. Does he not seem recalling? Guess he doesn't. Okay. Wow, that was just a really early auto attack by Faker. He needed to wait. He missed out on 50 gold because of that. Recall by Lucian. He's got Zerk Greaves. Notice that their top laner and bottom laner recall at the same time. They want to press the bottom lane if they can help it. You can see, right? Gnar goes top. Lucian goes bottom. He got Vamp Scepter. Oh god, he's going Bloodthirster Lucian. I hate that build. Like, he will never kill this Randuin's Omen Mundo. Never, ever. Like, I don't see how SKT is going to win team fights here. Without massively outplaying. Like, they're really doing a good job of, I think, they're stiffing out the GE Tigers lane swaps. They expect GE Tigers to swap, and they really want Blade of the Ruin King Gnar to face Dr. Mundo. And the cool thing about buying attack speed on Gnar, by the way, instead of going like Brutalizer or Hexdrinker, he's buying an attack speed at him, is Hyper does magic damage, and does percent health magic damage, so Smeb having a health armor item means that buying attack speed is going to make Hyper do a lot more and continue to kind of chunk down this poor Dr. Mundo. That's likely to keep happening. You can see this, that Marn was continually holding the push lead here. SKT forced to play very safe against Veigar. They've just got to respect him at all times. Kuro, unsurprisingly, has the push lead on Ezreal. Ezreal backed for a Sheen. And the ward coverage is not quite good enough. Now, Xerath totally could have got more turret stacks down. Notice that he got that deep ward to the far left of the mid lane, right over here. But I guess yeah, and like this ward, well, I guess that ward wasn't there for very long. But like, it's not like Nunu Ezreal has kill pressure. Not really. Kuro totally could have stayed for more turret damage, but he just is exposing himself to zero risk. He doesn't want any risk at all. He says, you know what, if I push it into the turret, minions will deal damage, your turret will slowly fall. We'll take mid-turret off a rotation. I don't need to right-click it, and I guess that's fine. Marin goes hard. Problem is, you went melee against Dr. Mundo, dude. Like, you're good because you whittle him down. You're not good because you're mini-Gnar in his face. He has no tank stats. Like, you're going to lose that fight. That was so dumb by Marin. Faker gets stunned. Oh, yeah, he had to cleanse that. Like, Q into ult was a kill. If he didn't cleanse, Kuro lands Q, then he goes ult, 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 and he kills Ezreal. He had to cleanse to dodge the Q. Kuro realized that once the Q didn't land, he's unlikely to land enough ultis, so he doesn't even bother. SKT are getting Dragon Control. That's really nice of them. But guess what? Rek'Sai's here, Gorilla's here. Yeah, forces the flash. Forces the Black Shield, but that's fine. Bot lane turret dies to minions. He better get this. He does. Okay, Lee's stuck in the front line. Really good culling by the Lucian. But guess what? Artillery shows up. Pretty good power spec by these guys. Yeah, look at that. Like, they can't deal with Xerath. Like, the thing about a good frontline is a frontline stops melee attackers. It stops Rek'Sai. It stops Mundo a little bit. It doesn't stop Xerath. This is what I love about Xerath. Well, as far as power-wise goes. Xerath works in every comp. Because oh, God. SKT, why? Just why? You already lost the fight. Why are you still chasing into this team? Oh, God. Oh, God. They all could have just left. They could have gotten like a 1-for-0 and just gotten out. So this is why I like Xerath in every team comp ever. And it's why the Koreans all first pick Xerath. Oh, this game is ludicrous. What the hell? Oh my God, that two-shot barrage is so good. So the reason Xerath works in every team, Xerath has defensive wave clear. So if you need late game scaling on like your Jinx or something, Xerath keeps your turrets alive. If you need to siege because you have an early game power spike team, Xerath pokes enemy champions off of turrets. If you have a dive team, kind of like this, where Rek'Sai's going to go hard, by the way, guess what Xerath does here? He hits the back line. You ready? Bam, hits bang. Oh God, Lee has to get away. It's okay, guys. Smeb's here. Bangy, bangy, bang. Oh God, he hit 3 ults in a row and bang's gone. Xerath, boys. Xerath is a good champion. So here they're like, oh, we got this. And then you dodge the skill shots. And then Peekaboo just like needs to straight run. Like, hey, great, you got the kills. Leave. Bang, no. Bang. They still have Xerath. They still have Xerath. They still have Xerath. They still have Xerath. They could have gotten that free kill on Lee and gotten out. They actually would have made it, what, a 1-for-1? As multiple times now, this team is overextended and Xerath showed up. Like, Kuro is ridiculous. So, like, Smeb's getting kills because they're just giving, like, free kills away. But Kuro's just, like, doing a really good job of getting to the fights. Like, Smeb is gifted kills, Kuro earns his. Kuro's been amazing this game. Kuro's so good at League of Legends, dude. Now, one thing I actually do disagree with, actually, is I actually really want to see him go Sork Shoes instead of Blasting Wand because his ability to reach fights is so important that getting that 20 move speed is actually a rather big deal. And 15 Magic Pen is going to do way, 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 way more than 40 AP. Now, I realize he gets a Death Cap power spike in, and like that's cool and all, but even like with that said, you almost get more out of Sork Shoes here. I think Sork Shoes are under-purchased in the mid lane. Or like Boots 2 in general are under-purchased. Because I think he fully wave clears without the death cap. I think his AP is high enough with just the NL, the needlessly large rod. But Sork Shoes giving you the mobility and the extra backline damage is actually pretty good. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. I'm not really... Problem is, like, keeping track of two teams is kind of hard. So I'm not, like, really keeping track of ward lines and stuff. Without a co-caster to kind of point out things that are important. Also, I'm, like, going really into nitty-gritty detail. That's, like, not always important. I'm, like, basically being less informative than when I cast. Which is really odd, but I guess I'm just tired. It's late. Alright. Marin gets himself a turret. That's good. Bengi is forced out of his lane. Damn, that's a lot of damage. But you see how afraid they are? He ults, he gets Corki down to half, and he's like, I ain't fighting this. It's Triforce Corki. I'm getting the fuck out. And that's smart. He's behind. And he went Bloodthirster like an idiot, so Bang has no damage. Mundo is 5-1, and he's never going to die. Ever. So, Triforce is in for Faker. Manamune should probably combine by 21 minutes. 21, 22? No, not 22. Should be earlier than that. Should be 21 minute Muramana. Problem is, it's spiking in by the time... Snab is probably going to be close. So I wonder if he sits on Giant Spell and goes Thornmail, or if he actually goes for the Warmogs. Because I think Thornmail's actually better. If he goes Warmogs, he has 100 MR from items and like 1200 health from items. So he got like 3400 HP right now. And like 210 armor. So basically life is pain if you're SKT. Last Whisper third for Faker. That's not too far away. Also, I would actually really like Iceborne Gauntlet. No. Do I? Actually, yeah. I really want Iceborne Gauntlet on Ezreal here because he needs a way of keeping back from Mundo. Like, without the only CC this team has is Ice Blast and, like, Morg Binding, and those are really bad on Mundo. Whereas Iceborne Gauntlet's actually going to slow him down. And it's unaffected by Tenacity, essentially. So, like, you get a lot out of it. It does lower your damage output, but, like, you weren't going to kill Mundo anyway. Such a good engage. Such a good engage. Xerath gets to help. Smeb just just flash in the back line. Like, these guys are untouched. A really nice play by Marin, though. That was, oh god, that was so slick by Marin. But like, we'll get a replay actually afterwards. But like this front line can't be dealt with. So SKT are smart enough to like say, okay, f that, rush the back line. Marin, please carry us. They can't hope to steal. That's not going to happen. First drag actually finally goes to GE Tigers. That helps them quite a bit. But I want to see that replay. Like, it's a really good job of getting the back line. That's very impressive by SKT. Marin knows he's fairly tanky. He's got a cowl. How does he actually really... He can't really force back Lee, can he? Okay, they got it to Corki. Yeah, they're just buying time. Corki showed. And now Marin's basically dead. He's going to get perma-slowed by Mundo. Like, welcome to SKT. They're overstaying. And he's dead. And he's dead. Dude, I don't understand. SKT played that miserably. They just keep overstaying. Over and over and over and over again. They gave away their mid-game by overstaying. Basically. Like, they warded their enemy blue buff. Then they stayed for the tunnels, even though Xerath had the push lead in mid. So Xerath was guaranteed to show up first. And it's early game, so like just getting bursted by a mage is gonna destroy even the Nunu. By the way, I really like the fact that Gorilla went first item Talisman of Ascension. Well, I guess he went first item Distortion, then he went Talisman of Ascension. But that's like the right build. It's a really good build. All you care about is the positioning to land Event Horizon. Alright, so GE Tigers are pretty damn good at this game. Oh, Saint Bitches is here. Hi, Saint. Okay, so GE Tigers now, all they have to do is win the game. So let's see, what can GE Tigers do to win? Well, Mundo, oddly enough, is actually not going to be amazing against Gnar right now, just because, again, Hyper is a thing. So he can't really split push that well. I don't think he can ignore Gnar, and even though he can wave clear pretty fast with W, like, I don't think he can ignore Gnar hitting him. So they don't really have that. You can see how little damage mid is taking this game, but really nice rotation by SKT. Faker has to dodge. Dodges 1, dodges 2. Not bad. But the thing is, they can't really answer prey. Like, Kuro gets to hold turrets. Like, there's only one outer turret left. So they allocate Kuro to the outer turret that's left, which is what SKT wants to try to kill. But guess what? They have a Xerath there. So the only offensive things SKT can do is push mid lane outer slowly and prey, or try for tier 2 turrets, which are not possible at all. So they allocate Xerath, their best defender, there. Now they send Mundo to a side lane. And in fact, they send Mundo to the side lane away from Baron. And they send Corki top lane to knock the turret down because it's pretty easy. He's Corki. It's safe. But now they need to use their push lead like this, insta-clear, to get wards down. Now, they're actually allocating Mundo to join the team so that they have a battering ram to put wards down through. Like, they can't really face check into Morgana binding. Like, if Veigar does that, he dies. So Smeb walks up with a sweeper and says, okay, those brushes are clear. Cool. If you want more wards, I'll push in their jungle and we can get more wards. He's the battering ram. Now, the tricky thing is, when the battering ram goes top lane, it leaves bottom lane open. And it means that SKT could have pushed that lane back out. And this really weird dance where until you have a tank, and with Lee getting Merc Treads and a Sightstone, he's not a tank yet. Basically, okay, now he's random. He's okay now. You need a tank to kind of battering ram in to get wards up. When you play a team with no tanks, you actually can't get ward control back without like doing some really phenomenal things. And this is one of the difficulties. It's actually why a lot of times top laners will lose out on farm, is because there's two ways to basically get ward control back. So here's the overall thought. There's this interesting sort of three-piece triangle that goes into ward control. So number one is minion wave control. So if you can push your minion waves in and make your enemies react to the fact that they're going to lose 100 gold under their turret, you can get wards down. Because if they don't, and they sit there in the jungle death brushing you, you're just like, alright, we got a minion wave lead over you. Let's try again in 30 seconds. You push minion again. They still death brush you. You're like, well, fuck wards. We're just getting 200 gold. We're getting like 200 gold per minute over them just by pushing in mid. Easy. Freelo. So they have to react. So someone has to react, and it's usually Xerath. And the cool thing about Xerath is, again, he can just roam out of lane really easily and just press R and help the team. The second piece is basically being afraid of brushes. And so if you have something like a giant frontline Mundo or a giant frontline Gnar, you don't have to be afraid of brushes because he walks up and says, I dare you to bind me. Oh, look, nothing happened. And so you can use a battering ram to essentially get in and get wards down anyway. And they either contest the Mundo or they give up positioning because they can't contest the Mundo. Sort of the third point is pulling their attention away. And it's kind of similar to point one, but essentially instead of like pushing mid and then like warding the lane you just pushed, you basically have a split push, like a Fizz push bottom, and like someone has to react to him. And if he's actually a winning matchup, like if Marin were 5-1 and Smeb were 2-4, Marin would pull someone else into that lane with him, and then by the fact that they have a guaranteed 4v3 on the rest of the map, SKT can do whatever they want and get ward control up. GE Tigers don't really have that 1v2 laner. They don't have that 6-0 Gnar. They don't have that giant Fizz that's going to kill anyone who shows up. They don't have the Zed. So GE Tigers actually can't really get ward control without using Lee or Smeb to do so. And so they need basically a frontliner to go push wards in. And also, they're kind of taking their time right now. But basically, on the table, GE Tiger said, okay, well, we got turret number 2. They're happy to just kind of play farm for now. It's kind of interesting. They're playing, I guess, fairly slow. They have a good network of tunnels. You can notice that basically Lee can tunnel to anything defensive alongside the map. He has tunnels everywhere. He's made sure he's put the effort in for that. So he can get across the map. Smeb can get across the map. Split pushing is actually very easy for GE Tigers. But Koreans don't put farm on their jungler. Like, you can see how little money like Lee really has right now, and how little he has. Like, an American team like Team Liquid, they would basically have dominate split pushing bottom lane here or top lane here. Probably even against Faker. He'd probably feel comfortable enough facing Faker because he would have probably 50 more CS right now and have a completed Thornmail, which means he could actually fight Faker. And with that, he would be allowed to split push. And then if something happened, he could use a tunnel to get across the map. But you can see, right, they got minion wave control up mid. Gorilla, you can see he's putting in very defensive wards. He just put 3 wards down, right? He just, like, over the wall in the jungle because they know it's safe. Like, they saw Gnar. They know Faker's out of the lane. Like, just like, okay, we got wards up a little bit. We choked up a little bit. GE Tiger's playing really risk-averse here. But you can see they really can't get the waves pushed up. SKT are contesting the waves really well. GE Tigers, by the way, they don't have good engage either. Actually, it's pretty good. They have Talisman of Ascension Veigar. But they're really unwilling to force the issue because they don't have, like... basically, they don't really have the guaranteed catch because of Black Shield. They're just really playing, honestly, just risk-averse. They're not trying to set up Baron baits, even though they totally could. 4 sweepers. Okay, there we go. Gorilla's going to get 1 ward back. Smeb's going to battering ram in. They just recalled Kuro. He's got his Zonias. Okay, let's see what kind of wards they can get. And, of course, you can see that, like, SKT, they're, like, really not flinching either. They're just like, oh, you tried to clear wards, and they put ones down right away. Like, you can see some of the deep wards got cleared, but there's one, like, right below the bottom of the map. Okay, now GE Tigers finally start Baron. Right? They clear a bunch of the wards away. They force the issue. They force the TP. Event Horizon zones them back. Smeb walks in the front. And, okay, they got Baron. The team got forced out. And now guess what? Smeb is going to start regenning back up. Xerath got his long-range Xerath things done. And actually a better fight than you might have expected because of GE Tigers being forced to stick on Baron. GE Tigers honestly could have death brushed. If they had 2 more pink wards in inventory, and by the way, look at the inventories. Kuro's got room, Prey's got room, Gorilla's got room. They could have gotten 3 new pink wards down in Baron Pit and basically guaranteed a death brush scenario. But because they were stuck in Baron Pit, the back line got reached. Kuro had to flash away. Prey had to heal flash. Gorilla had to flash away. Lee had to flash away. And Smeb was the only guy taking damage. You notice that, by the way, Smeb got hung out to dry and still lived. I just want to point that out. Literally everyone else on the team flashed away. And Smeb was like, yep, I'm going to walk away from this real quick. And that is the reality of what this team comp is like. By the way, guys, this is a VOD. This is a VOD of OGN. So I'm just talking about games. This would basically be the equivalent of like me writing like a Lolly Sports article and like using this game as credit or as the source for it. Wow, they got really afraid of that flank. They really respected that. Look at that. Yeah, okay, so they burst out Marn a little bit. Smeb's in front. Smeb can't die. Xerath reaches the back line. Smeb just wants to get in there. Bengi's not going to do shit. Smeb's still chasing down. He has an elixir of iron now, by the way. I think he actually regens over the culling. And he's forced to flash. Woo! Faker outplays the knockup by using Arcane Shift. Smeb, over-aggressive, by the way. His ulti's down. He can't chase that far. But it sets them up. By the way, Smeb just walked at them the entire time. Kuro ulted into the back line, and then they just chase, because that's all you have to do. The tank line is broken, because there is no tank line. Marn got hit by Xerath. Prey's big. Welcome to League of Legends. So this game is like basically over. Problem is, GE Tigers really can't push. Oh, he missed the cleaver. They actually probably should have pushed. They actually had the ability to have Lee tank bot lane tier 2 and kill that turret. Although without Prey, maybe they didn't have the damage. Maybe so. Nice. Good juke. Good juke. Good juke. Good job, Peekaboo. Alright, GE Tigers taking longer than I feel like they should to close this game out. I mean, I guess they're not ahead that much. Like, I keep saying this game is over because, like, compositionally, it is. Oh my god. Bang doesn't have an Infinity Edge still. Now, the thing is, because there's Thornmail for both tanks now, Faker has to get Bloodthirster. He actually can't go Infinity Edge and live. Good dodging by Benki overall. I don't know why he ulted there. There's nothing to get done there. Like, he has to know the team is there. They're doing a really good job poking Smeb. That's impressive. But once he gets out of combat, like, Warmog's going to just bring him back to full. It's, like, not even a big deal. So top lane crashed into the turret. Go ahead and take down Dragon. They get number 3. Great, no big deal. Lucian pushed out mid, finally. SKT did a very smart thing by pushing out mid while Baron was getting taken. They knew they couldn't get Baron. But they just stayed close enough to... Actually, no. If SKT hardcore ran at mid, with Smeb at half health, they could have taken mid tier 2 as well. SKT actually could have sent 5 mid straight up and gotten tier 2. They shouldn't have contested Dragon like that. There's no way they get it. And now they got a whole bunch of poke down, right? They poked these guys down, forced a lot of recalls. Theoretically, this team could go hard for mid again. But the teams are playing pretty defensive. Let's see. Alright. Well, Gorilla's taking a lot of poke from just Ezreal ulting. I find it hilarious how much damage he's actually taking from that. Just like the constant Faker ults. Faker's keeping CS up. He's got Bloodthirster. Okay, now here's the siege, finally. Now they feel like they can actually siege. It's just a matter of slowly encroaching the ward line. SKT doing a good job of like not letting up. Like, I actually want to see like rewatch this game just purely from SKT's point of view and like how they managed to hold on for so damn long. Because like GE Tigers are obviously the best team in Korea, and like they're gonna do a really good job of beating up SKT because they're GE Tigers. They're amazing. Like SKT played pretty damn well from behind. Like they really threw their mid game when they had some kind of a lead, and then they managed to like hold on really well and really only bled dragons. Like there's been no turret kills this game. But I think it's more that GE Tigers are really unwilling to siege, and they're unwilling to keep all the lanes pushed up. And I think it's largely to the fact that Nar beats Mundo in the general sense. All right, Marin, I don't think he has a chance of making this play. And really, GE Tigers were unwilling to split push. They were unwilling to let Lee push that down. Like, let Lee push one side, let Smeb push the other, and then just rotate with the teleports they have. You see they push down top, and they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Don't want to do anything more here. Yeah, they Talisman Ascension out. Veigar pops the cage. They put some poke down because they're awesome. Peekaboo is now out of the fight. And they disengage cleanly. One thing that SKT do have, though, is the double Bloodthirster means they have a lot of sustain. So in these poke wars, they actually get a lot of health back. Peekaboo's still zoned out. It's a 5v4 at this point. Ezreal clears a couple of minions, but it doesn't really matter. He should have actually waited, come back around to the turret, gone up the turret. But turret finally falls. Unsurprisingly, Marin's forced out. I'm a little bit surprised that Gorilla ults him instead of using it on like Faker or something, just to do some meaningful damage. But I guess it's just like, yeah, just put the front load on Marin. Try to do more from there. I mean, I can't completely disagree, but I kind of would have liked to see it somewhere else. So these teams are really not paying attention to sideways very much at all now later on in the game. They're really just trying to group up and force things. SKT trying to group up and force Baron. Was like, no, they can tell. They'll be here in time. Never mind. Let's back out. But we're really not seeing holding patterns come in much at all. Like, I'm actually surprised how much farm actually is coming into this game because it feels like side lanes are being really heavily ignored. But the farm's still coming in, so I gotta say, they're getting it somehow. Ezreal ulting on cooldown, just clear minions out. Even if all you get is those 3 caster minions. It means that mid lane will push in if it's not contested. Binding some damage on a Lee, whatever. Still Rek'Sai. Prey finally does go for the siege, but risk aversion. Flash away from Marin. Marin's now super screwed. Yeah. Xerath actually missed an ult. Faker got some good damage on Akuro. That was nice. But Smeb's not going to die. Healed turret aggro for a while, by the way. But you can see how easily they deal with Marin and how poorly SKT deals with Smeb. And they force him in again. Event Horizon only forces back Ezreal. Ez ulted to clear mid lane wave, I think. Yeah, he ulted to clear mid lane wave. Okay, the re-engaged Lee forced back. Smeb's ult is down, actually, which means there's a chance to win this. But Bang gets caught. Faker makes some nice plays. That's actually really, really slick. Actually, wow. That's a pretty impressive fight. Where's Kuro? Oh, Kuro's just forced back. Okay. So they actually win this one. Wow. I want to see why that was even the case. I guess Mundo just eventually got worn down. So I talked about like the poke wars and the double bloodthirster and things like that. It just seems like they got away from Veigar so impressively well. Like, I'm honestly ridiculously impressed with SKT's ability to not get wrecked by Veigar. And because of double bloodthirster, they can just slowly and slowly and slowly keep their life up and wear down their opponents. That's ridiculously impressive by SKT. That is incredible. Man. Yeah, okay, let's watch this replay. So, okay, Prey's already at half. He's forced to flash away from an Ice Blast, which is a bit aggressive, but Faker just gets a lot of early burst on him. Like, Faker just actually like managed to find some poke in the middle of that fight and like just break down the back line. Like, he killed the duo lane by himself, essentially. And at this point, like, thing is, Xerath, well, I guess Xerath can't rejoin the fight. They're missing too many players. Lee, by not being a tank, means he's always killable. Like, for a short time, Lee was a tank, but then he stopped getting farm, and he stopped being a tank. SKT gonna go duo dragon. Sure, makes sense. But guess what? People are here. Bet you should be able to consume smite that pretty easily. Right now! Okay, yeah, there you go. Problem is, SKT lost positioning for that. Like, they're really screwed here. I'm surprised GE Tigers don't try to fight this. Like, this is so free. Okay, they got one. I guess the rest could escape, so all they really wanted to kill was Nunu. They didn't want to fall into the pit. That was actually really intelligent. That was actually smarter than I saw that. They knew the only champion they could actually chase out of the pit, or kill, because the rest could escape, was the Nunu. And so they didn't chase in. They're like, Nunu's going to die. Let's just make her positioning stand up, and it did. Now the jungler's dead. They had a couple guys having to heal. But, God, that Ezreal does so much damage to them. Ezreal's really underrated in his damage output here. Faker's, like, really carrying this game. Oh, wow, yeah. But he got knocked up. He has nowhere to go. He dies to the back line, or the front line, rather. And now Bang gets to fight Smeb, and it's not going to be pretty. Oh, God, that Xerath damage. Yeah. So, like, occasionally you get fights where, like, you get a bunch of poke and you wear them down, like, Prey gets caught, Kuro has to flash away. And when that doesn't happen, when you don't get the outplay, that's just how the fight goes. Like, Mundo presses R and walks your 80 carries, and you're like, yeah, you're right, we lost. The fact that there are 0 infinity edges, like, there is I guess he's a Phantom Dancer, right? But, like, there's a total of 45% crit chance. I guess it's a decent amount, but, like, there's 280 carries, and there are 0 infinity edges. Like, it is so hard for SKT to actually kill those champions. Bengi didn't walk far enough to kill the caster minions on his ulti. Not that it would have mattered. They won anyway. Let's look at another champ select.